How's it going, everybody? Rye right here today, and we are back with your Boston Red Sox, and back in another offseason where we come out of it losing the last game of the season. Not what you want to do when you made the playoffs, but I still think we're a good enough team, and I think we're on the right path. I think there's definitely some moves that I can make, some things that I can shake up. We'll take a look here real quickly at the budget. I mean, it says that I have 17 million in surplus, and we're going to gain another 8 is what that looks like, unless the budget goes up, in which case we may gain more. But I think for now, getting 8 more, which would probably give us around 25 million. Taking a look, sorting by overall, the biggest player we have to sign would be, where is he? There he is, Hunter Renfroe, who I think we're just going to let walk. He's been good, but I think we're going to let him walk. We've got Domingo Narvaez. Is it Domingo Narvaez? Dominique Paniagua. Who the heck is Domingo Narvaez? Is that even a real person? I don't know. I've lost my mind here. We need to actually go deeper than the wild card for once. So this offseason is hopefully going to do that for us. So let's go ahead and get to the offseason right now. Well, we can't say that we lost to the best team in the league, because Toronto then lost to New York, and then New York lost to Minnesota, but Minnesota did sweep Atlanta. So at least I guess we got that going for us. I kind of want to take a look at the statistics for our team. Who was probably the most disappointing? Trace Thompson was great. Renfroe had 2 at-bats, didn't do anything. 9 at-bats for Bryan Reynolds, only 1 hit. Again, it's one series, things will change, but we'll just go into the offseason now, and there we go. 5 players who don't have contracts, and view retired players. So Aslana Chen is going to retire, 22-year-old. Oh, man, he's going to retire? He's even growing, too. Oh, well. It's not really going to make an impact on the future of the team here. So Justin Turner retires there. Who is going to make the Hall of Fame? Nobody. Unfortunately, nobody's going to make the Hall of Fame. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get to see anybody. But there we go. So we do have 42 million in surplus? There's no way. What? Hold on. We got to check the budget. 42 million in surplus. Wow, we must have made a ton of money. Team revenue is 262. We're currently having to give up 17 of that. So our budget's like 244. Yeah. Honestly, 42 million does not sound that crazy. Oh my goodness. I love being a big market team. Holy smokes. Here we go. These guys are all renewable down here. So that's beautiful. Really, I don't know, Trace Thompson, maybe Jorge Alcala. Jorge Alcala, the relief pitcher we acquired, was really freaking good, and he's been really freaking good for back-to-back years. I'm willing to give him 3 years. Yeah, I'm willing to give him that deal. 18 million flat, or 18.3, 6.1 per year. Now let's just do 6 million per year. Save that 100,000. We are a contender, which is good to see. And he's got one compatriot. He is from the Dominican Republic, and he wants to be in the bullpen, which is perfect. So there we go. I think I'm going to let Trace Thompson and Hunter Renfroe walk. If we take a look at our outfield situation, right? We got Verdugo and Dominique Paniagua, so that's 2. We got Reynolds, Bader, and then Pete Crow Armstrong. And I think I want to give Harrison Bader more time than I have. I think I might put Bryan Reynolds out in right, because he's got 86 arms. So I think he's got the best arm of anybody on the team. Yeah, Alex Verdugo's got the second best. Obviously Harrison Bader, I'd like to keep him at center, but if I can, an outfield of Verdugo, Reynolds, and Bader with Pete Crow Armstrong and Dominique Paniagua on the bench, I'm not going to complain about that. So right now what we're going to do is we're just going to make Bryan Reynolds that right field option for us. Finish. There we go. We can take a look now. So we can see he's now our right fielder. They will play him in right field. He's a 94 overall right fielder. I believe he went up 2 spots. Harrison Bader, best season yet for him, which was very exciting. Taking a look at his WAR, it's 3.7. Then his runs created were almost as good as his time in New York there. So definitely a solid player for us, and he's making a really good contract. 11 million is nothing to scoff at. And then Verdugo, Paniagua, and then Pete Crow Armstrong, we're going to give some of the youth. Like I said, I'm going to make a commitment more to youth. Domingo Navarro, there he is. I was like, this is a real person. Okay, maybe not real person, but he is a person. It's a name I've seen before. I didn't just manifest it. With only the 2 right fielders and all the staff signed, there's really no reason that we couldn't just jump here to to free agency 1, and we are now ready to offer salary arbitration. Nick Fortes, I think we're gonna let him walk. Royce Lewis, I want to split time for him. Let's see what he wants. What does he want, right? I mean, we have 35 million to spend here. He wants, okay, I'll give him a 3-year deal at 4 million. I think he's worth it. I think he's gonna be a platoon option. I think that's great. Wow, he really, I was gonna say really doesn't want too much money, but 3 years at 12 million. I'll give him the extra 100,000. It's not gonna break the bank. 37.9 million after that. Connor Brogdon, how did you pitch? I think he had a poor year last year. He did bounce back this year, had a much better year. Actually had positive WAR again. And then Adam Kolarek, I'll probably let him walk. He's 37. No reason to worry about that. But we have Dominique Paniagua coming up. And can I get him for 6 years at $2.5 million a year? I know it's a little bit risky to overpay now, but I may backload the contract. He wants $2.5 million per year. There we go. If I backload it, he's probably gonna end up, making what he deserves. So I will backload this contract for him. And then obviously you guys have seen me. I will go through and sign all these players, but I wanted to touch on the fact that there are a lot of really good players, and Bo Bichette is available. He is only qualified. He did not get a qualifying offer. So that means we could go after Bo Bichette to play shortstop for us. Coming off his best season yet, and he was playing in Atlanta. That's right. He got traded, I remember, in this universe. 5.0 WAR, 100 runs created pretty much every year. And what is he looking for? He's looking for 18.8 for 5 years. I could give him 4 years at 18-ish, and we'd probably be good there. I mean, Atlanta is a little bit closer to home than we are, but I still think that we could go after him. I think it would be really good there. The next thing we're going to do here, guys, is probably just let Connor Brogdon walk. He's not really been an issue for us. It's not like he's a problem or anything. I just see a little bit more out there in free agency. Jose Alvarado obviously would be phenomenal, right? The 91 hits per 9, the 99 Ks per 9. He only pitched, this coming off of really 2 out of 3 years where he's pitched under 20 innings. He's been good in that time, sort of, right? You can see his WAR was still positive here, even though his ERC was high. His fielding independent pitching was pretty low, though. So Jose Alvarado is a great pitcher. Obviously, Eric Swanson here, who's been really solid the whole time in every metric I can find. Now, he's not blown me away, but this past season, he faced 366 total batters. I wonder, he wasn't even their closer. He played in 73 games, 90 innings pitched. I wonder if he was their long reliever or something, but I would like to snatch him up from Toronto. I will give him $5 million a year. And hopefully he takes it. It's higher than Toronto's offer. Giovanni Gallegos here is another guy. I mean, there's so many pitchers in free agency right now that are just really good. Jonathan Hernandez as well was another player I was looking at. A solid amount of batters faced every year and a really good FIP and ERC. So I really can't complain if I were to sign him. He does want, looking at that, a lot of money, 6-7 million. Alvarado wants 8 million, right? We're looking at 5 million for Swanson. Giovanni Gallegos. I know we've got the budget. I just don't want to go nuts. Ooh, Yency Almonte. Yeah, this is definitely a bullpen arm that I would like to snatch up. I'll give him 4 years at 18 million. So what is that? 4.5 per year. It's right about what he's looking for. So those two guys probably would be our bullpen arms. As well as a guy like Archie Cox, right? And then you look at our starting pitching, and it's kind of log jammed. I don't know if it's necessarily log jammed, but Marshall Ash, Giancarlo Ramirez, Edward Cabrera are guys outside of the starting 5 that probably could do a good enough job. We saw Marshall Ash pitch in 10 games last year, and he had a moderately okay time, much better than his first ever appearance. Giancarlo Ramirez didn't pitch at all in the majors last year. We saw Edward Cabrera take up that long reliever role for us and wasn't exactly the best. Definitely somebody that if he continues to grow and improve, especially in that walks per 9, the home runs per 9, right? Those are the 2 lowest ones. Those are brutal, right? 46. I mean, the 61's not bad, but 46 walks per 9. Like, you got to up your control. If he continues on this path, great. because we've got him signed for 3 more years at 3.3. Then taking a look at the rest of the bullpen, it's Houck, Loizaga, Schreiber, and then we kind of let Brogdon walk. Release him. Yeah, I think we're just going to release him and release Kolarek as well. And there we go. So we offered out 2 more relievers, plus we got Archie Cox. So that's 4 relievers, plus the long reliever. That's 5. Yeah, we probably need 1 more relief pitcher, right? So we got Houck, Loizaga, Schreiber, Cox. I don't know if I want to move one of these guys to the pen. You guys can let me know if I should. I might move Marshall Ash to the bullpen, just because. I mean, I know his stamina is 86, right? I mean, Edward Cabrera. Maybe we make Edward Cabrera a reliever and then make Marshall Ash the. I think I might do that. I might make Marshall Ash the long reliever, Edward Cabrera a middle reliever, and then Giancarlo Ramirez. I think 1 more year. He's only 21. He's still got years to grow, and I really don't like his clutch, his control. I think he's got to make up more of a starting pitcher than he does a relief pitcher. So for now, until we have a space in the starting rotation, I'd like to leave him there. The next guy we're just going to go ahead and release is Nick Fortes. We've got Diego Cartaya. You can see he's 74 overall, 24. He jumped very, very nicely, and he's just well balanced, right? Average across the board in his hitting, solid across the board in his fielding. He's not the fastest in the world, but we'll move him to the majors right now. And there we go. We can see that the team is starting to take shape. We'll move Archie as well. There's also Aaron Luke, but if I give him more time in AAA, we'll move Archie to the majors, which he did pitch pretty well in his short stint here. Listen, he wasn't mind-blowing by any stretch, but he was really good. And then obviously our starting rotation is going to be the same. Again, I can't find any fault in it, right? Shohei, 3.6 ERA. He may not have been as dominant. We got Dylan Cease, who had a 3.0 and a 4.1. And then we got Tariq Skubal, 3.5 and a 3.5. Garrett Whitlock was a little bit less good, but still, the WAR numbers for our pitchers are phenomenal. Taking a look here, Shohei's at 4, 3 for Cease, 4 for Skubal, 2 for Whitlock, and then 3 for Melendez. I mean, I'm not really eager to get rid of any of those guys, and it makes this offseason a little tougher because I don't know exactly where I want to upgrade. I want to give Marcelo Mayer a shot at short for us. I mean, he's a great defender, and the bat, he's getting better with it. So he's only 23. I think I want to give him a shot this season. Out in the outfield, we know it's Paniagua, Verdugo, Bader, Crow Armstrong, and Reynolds. Phenomenal outfield. At third, it's Rafi. At second, it's Gavin Lux, who, might I add, did create 97 runs with a WAR of 3.8. So less WAR, but more runs created. So the bat is coming alive for him, and he's growing everywhere, right? He can play any position too. And I'm excited, to have hopefully Royce Lewis back because he can do the same thing, second, third, or the outfield. At first, we've got Pete Alonso, Mac Jackson, Tristan Casas. I mean, maybe Pete Alonso's. I mean, I think he kind of platooned last year with Mac Jackson because he can't hit lefties as well. He still had a solid enough season, a little bit down year on average. The OPS was right in line with what it normally is. And the runs created did drop off pretty significantly. Another average year of WAR for him. At 11 million, maybe I look to trade him because he is 31. See if I can get somebody to bite on it. Mac Jackson's turning into a really good player. Tristan Casas is there to back him up, or platoon, right? I don't really foresee him platooning, but hey, you never know. So Pete Alonso, I would just basically check the market. Obviously, nobody's really got players signed right now. We'll probably have to do this later on. Like there's Rhys Hoskins, but again, I don't need a first baseman. It's tough because I don't feel like I need any position to upgrade. Nothing jumps out at me as like a must upgrade position. I mean, Freddie Freeman, oh boy. Not overpaying an old Freddie Freeman. Now here's a guy, Willis Jones, 61, 18 with A potential. Really, really good. If I wanted to clear this 11 million, we could, right? And that's the Giants, but right now, I don't think I want to do that, and Bo Bichette's really, really interesting because he's not nearly as good of a fielder, but he's got great contact, and the power against lefties is phenomenal. Maybe we, again, put Marcelo Mayer on the bench and go after Bo Bichette in free agency and try and fill that shortstop hole. I mean, I think I have offer salary arbitration to Royce Lewis. I can withdraw this offer. I should definitely go out and sign the young players, the youth players, the younger players, renew them just to see how much space we're actually going to have. So pretty much everybody that I would want to offer a contract to does have a contract offered to them. And it looks like we're going to have just about 18 million to offer out. And unfortunately, I mean, I could get them to sign maybe a 4-year deal that hits the 18.3 or a 5-year deal, and I backload it. I mean, 5 years, he would be 33. Marcelo Mayer would be 28 at that point. Maybe I want to go a little bit shorter. 3 years. I feel like a 3-year deal backloaded might be good. Obviously, that's going to be tougher to stomach as we go on. Obviously, he's super interested in that. He definitely doesn't love the idea of a 3-year deal here. Obviously, you can see it's still the best offer. We'd only have about 1 million, and that's if everybody comes back, and we still have a lot of younger players to go after. I don't know if the idea of Bo Bichette is going to be the right one. There is Tommy Edman, but how much of an upgrade is he really? Doesn't look like much of one. And again, like I said, I'd like to give Marcelo Mayer the option. Now, 6 years at 86 million over 6 years? That's all they're giving him? I mean, I could maybe try and, negotiate this down to a point where it's really not hurting us too badly. I mean, 64 million, that's 16 million a year. Let me see if I can get this down to 60 million a year over 4, or 60 million a year. Yeah, he would take that in a heartbeat. And that would leave us with just a bit over 3 million in budget left. I mean, in surplus. So maybe we could get that to work. I don't know how I feel about it, but for now, I think it's fine to offer that out. Kyle Tucker is truly incredible. His runs created have been up there at 100 every season. WAR, 4 or higher pretty much every year. Really, really good player. I'm trying to just make sure that, we have enough players in the system. Obviously, I've offered most of the contracts out. I do want a little flexibility. And like I said, if I need more, maybe I move on from Pete Alonso. So it's only been a couple days of free agency so far, and most of the guys that we gave a tendered contract to, the young guys, the renewable contracts, they did come back. So pretty much everybody's back from there. And then you guys can see we did get Yency Almonte to the 4-year, $18 million contract. So there's a big upgrade in the bullpen. You guys can see I did offer salary arbitration to Royce Lewis. I just want that safety net in case we don't end up getting Bo Bichette. If we do end up getting Bo Bichette, it'll be cool to have Royce Lewis, as a utility option. Maybe he can be a backup second baseman, so I can make sure Marcelo Mayer is actually the backup shortstop behind Bo Bichette. But I think for now, we're looking okay. The offer's out there. Bo Bichette, we're still number one. Eric Swanson, we're still number one. And Jorge Alcala, we are still number one as well. So we're looking about 4 million in surplus again. So honestly, I'm fine with it. The 2 million from Royce Lewis, I don't believe counts into that. Dominique Paniagua needs to sign the 6-year deal at 15 million. That is such a brilliant deal. I think maybe I could have, strung him along a little bit longer, but I don't think after a year in the majors, hopefully continuing to grow immensely, I think he's going to want a bigger contract as we keep going. Jumping back in a few days later, guys, Jorge Alcala did accept the 3-year, $6 million per year that I offered him before free agency opened. He decided that, nothing else was good enough, and he decided to come back. So that's a big win for us. The bullpen is looking good again. Houck, Loizaga, Schreiber, Alcala, Almonte. And I'm still just waiting for Eric Swanson to also join on a 3-year deal. Hopefully Bo Bichette, if we get Bo Bichette for 15 million, really undercutting him and what he's actually worth, I think it would be phenomenal. And I think that's probably the one hole on the roster is shortstop, right? We got Lux at second, Pete Alonso, Mac Jackson, Tristan Casas all at first, Devers at third, Brian Reynolds, Alex Verdugo, and then Harrison Bader. The team, there's really not much of a hole. Oh yeah, Sean Murphy at catcher, and then obviously the starting pitching is ridiculous. So hoping Bo Bichette decides to just come back to the AL East and say screw you, Toronto, for trading him. Speaking of screw you, Toronto, Eric Swanson has decided to join on that 3-year, $15 million deal. So our relief pitchers, pretty much a lot of them are on a 3-year deal. Obviously 3 years for Swanson. Loaiza, I mean, we seem to give out 3-year contracts. Almonte's on a 4-year deal, but our bullpen is locked up pretty well. We're not really spending too big on any one player. They're all movable contracts. And I mean, that's a pretty good bullpen. I'd be surprised if it wasn't one of the best in the league. And as you guys can see, it's third. Obviously shortstop, and then they say left field, but we know Doogie's got that magic in him. He just seems to play well in the sim. So still waiting on Bo Bichette. There's going to be the Bo Bichette waiting episode. So guys, I'm still waiting for Bo Bichette, but felt like this was pretty relevant. So the Braves have already decided to move on from Trevor Story. He's still 85 overall. He's only got 2 years left on that $23 million per year. Seemingly they got some decent prospects. I checked out Trevor Story just to see how he had done it, and they platooned him again. I don't know what it is with Atlanta and, benching good players, but he's now in St. Louis. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals. I absolutely passed them, didn't I? We'll go back around and we'll find him. There they are. And there he is, Trevor Story. You guys can see he only had 112 at-bats in Atlanta. And then they already cut bait with him. So 23.3 million for a guy that took 112 at-bats for you. Yeah, they gave up Sean Murphy, who I'm very happy to have. But in other news, Bo Bichette, I'm still waiting. A couple new teams popped in there. Washington's offer was below Atlanta's. San Francisco's is now below ours. They are above Atlanta. I'm still thinking that if he had to choose one, he would still choose ours because it's probably the best. I don't think that anybody else has got really that good of a deal. As good as ours. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still waiting. But it looks like the Toronto Blue Jays are they're gonna be missing Vlad Guerrero. They're not up there, and they're not up here with Bo Bichette. They already didn't have him. We also got their reliever. Oh gosh, what was his name? Eric Swanson, right? Swanson. So I feel pretty good about this offseason from a competitive division standpoint. And there's the pop-up I was hoping to see. Bo Bichette is a Boston Red Sox at $15 million per year. That's a beautiful deal for somebody of his caliber, his quality. And then you look at the team. The infield is insane. The team is top 10 everywhere but left field. And by the way, I'm not going to complain about left field because we got Doogie. Alex Verdugo only makes 5.7 per year. Had a down year batting average wise. He does seem to bat around 256, which is just about average. 18 home runs was more than he's used to getting. And his runs created is always up there in the 70s. So I can't really complain about that, but I am pumped to have Bo Bichette on the roster. The team is absolutely loaded. We are going in, and I think shortstop was probably our biggest area of need. We'll see what I do with Royce Lewis now. I did offer him. So the salary arbitration, I think, does come into effect here. I offered him like $2 million, I think, and maybe I've got like some tendered contracts. But I almost thought about trading away Pete Alonso just to up the Bo Bichette offer, but I'm really, really happy to see that I didn't need to do that. Now, Pete Alonso could still fetch us something pretty decent. However, I may end up letting him walk. This is probably one I'll leave to you guys. Should I be trading him for like prospects? Should I be trading him for like a third base prospect or something like that? Somebody I can find out there, maybe as part of a package deal. Because I feel like I want to get Tristan Casas and Mac Jackson playing. Mac Jackson, again, phenomenal, right? He's up there. He's getting close to what Pete Alonso is. And then Tristan Casas, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be anything too special, but his contract is winding down too. So honestly, the first base, we're loaded with a bunch of good hitters. I mean, Pete Alonso, we could try to cash in on him towards the end. But really, guys, I'm stoked. I mean, stoked with this roster, and still to have another $7 million in projected surplus. I feel really good about it. I feel like our bullpen is really good. I feel like, we got Josh Hader at closer. Hopefully he has a bounce back season. Catcher, we're set. We're set everywhere. So if something else happens in this offseason, I'll let you guys know. But for now, I'm pretty happy with what we got. Maybe we can just jump ahead and we'll see. I may have to sign some players for the system. So we've made it up to the Rule 5 draft. Nothing too exciting. Vlad Guerrero does have the primary offer from the Blue Jays right now, so he may be heading back to Toronto. But we are going to go ahead and jump into the Rule 5 draft right now. A lot of players seemingly getting picked. We'll take a look who's out there. I don't know if anybody's going to be good enough to crack the lineup, and you guys can see a couple A's, but they're not that good. Jalen Miller here, he's okay, but he's already 29. Second shortstop, middle infielder, right? And then the C potentials. They recommend Isaiah Campbell, a starting pitcher, but then again, he's got to play in the majors. We're just going to pass on this. We're just going to skip the player selection here. We'll see if we do get anybody yoinked from our team. It looks like a lot of players went, so there is a good chance, but nobody that I'm really upset. I did make sure that I had the Rule 5 draft all set up with no big names that I wanted out of the team. So you can see the Orioles lost Javier Assad. It looks like the Yankees lost Cooper Criswell. The Rays lost John Doxakis, I guess. And from the Mariner, yeah, so it looks like I did a good job in protecting our players. So look at that. I learned year over year how to be a better general manager in MLB The Show. Big news, guys. I'm just kind of simulating through the offseason, but the last time I checked, Toronto was the #1 offer on Vlad Guerrero, and clearly that's changed because the Detroit Tigers come in, and oh boy, panic in the streets of Toronto. We'll have to take a look at their roster. Let's just see. The arbitration panel sided with Lewis, $2.8 million. I don't like that at all. I don't think I can trade him, right? They would be very upset about me trading Royce Lewis. Although, look at that. Or maybe I hang on to him. Oh, I could get a potential starting pitcher from the Orioles, and that's just the Orioles. I'm sure there's another team out there that would want to bite. The Blue Jays. Blue Jays need anything at this point, so maybe I could take advantage of a rough. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays roster, actually. Blue Jays still have Alek Manoah, Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Varsho. Okay, it's still a good team. Yohan Duran, Clay Holmes. It seems like the batters, though, the batters are kind of missing. They got Kirk and Varsho, right? Kirk's a great contact hitter. Dalton Varsho has got that power against righties. Seiya Suzuki's their next best guy. I mean, they still have some talent, right? But I don't know. I don't think they're a threat anymore. They have $120 million in budget. Holy smokes, Toronto. Go pay somebody. So we've made it up to spring training. Let's take a look at the depth chart and show you guys the team heading into season number 4. Shohei, Cease, Skubal, Whitlock, and Melendez all happen to be starting pitchers for us. I don't know why Jim Wileman is the next best. Maybe because he's, I don't know. But then Sean Murphy is catching with, I guess, Dominique Paniagua being the backup catcher. I kind of want that to be Diego Cartaya, considering Dominique Paniagua is an outfielder, but the fact that he's got center secondary position is crazy. At first, we got Pete Alonso with Mac Jackson behind him. Gavin Lux with Royce Lewis behind him at second. Bo Bichette with Royce Lewis and Marcelo Mayer behind him. So that might be the big one, right? Royce Lewis could be our backup second baseman. Marcelo Mayer could be our backup shortstop, and we'd look pretty good there. Rafael Devers with Mac Jackson backing him up here. We got Verdugo with Paniagua and Royce Lewis. Wow, Royce Lewis is just kind of everywhere. But in the outfield, it's Verdugo, Bader, and Brian Reynolds. I mean, the team is pretty incredible. Again, 27th in speed, but we're not built on speed. We're built on contact, power, and pitching. Maybe I should build on speed because we haven't made it through the wild card yet. But I'm hoping for the team to simulate well this year around. The bullpen is the second best bullpen, so our pitching is absolutely far and away the best pitching in all of baseball. First starters, second bullpen, seventh catcher, third first baseman, seventh second, and the third best shortstop. We got him for $15 million a year. The Guardians got Trace Thompson. I looked at him, but then he was asking for $10 million, and I was like, yeah, no, not about that life. But primary position is shortstop. Yeah, it's Carlos Correa, and then Jeremy Pena and Bo Bichette are tied. They're pretty equal. I would give it to. Honestly, Bichette's just so much better at the plate. Pena's better at fielding and speed. I'm not going to complain about that at all. Pena's also on an expiring deal. Bobby Witt Jr. is getting there. But taking a look here, just an eyeball on next season. Pete Alonso's gone, but that's fine. We're not upset about that at all. Tariq Skubal being in a contract year. Same thing with Harrison Bader, but we should be fine. I feel like we've timed it pretty perfectly, right? Whitlock's gone after this year. Skubal could be gone after this year, but we've got the depth. Starting pitching, obviously, right? All of a sudden we move Melendez, Cabrera, Giancarlo Ramirez, and Marshall Ash up, and there's little to no drop off. Obviously, they're not a 91, but hey, what I'm going to have to pay for Skubal is probably crazy, right? Let's just take a look. He's arbitration eligible, and he wants $22 million a year. That would leave us with $213 million in player payroll. I don't know what the budget would be. I don't think we're going to have the budget to do it, but hey, stranger things have happened. Could definitely get him signed to a deal. Maybe it's time to freshen it up and let some of the younger guys continue. But really the one I want to know what your guys' thoughts, those of you that have made it this far in the video, what to do with Pete Alonso. Do we trade him and let Mac Jackson and Casas ride, or do we keep him because we really need all the talent we can get to go win a World Series? I think this team is incredible on paper. It's now about doing it on the diamond. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts too, especially, starting pitching as well. All these pitchers, we have so many. Do I get rid of Skubal now for some more prospects and let it be Whitlock, Melendez, and then Cabrera in the starting rotation with then Ash as the long reliever, Giancarlo Ramirez, right? We do have a little bit of a logjam at starting pitching, so maybe we move on from some of this high talent that's starting to get to 30, right? Maybe. I don't know. That's where you guys come in. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free-for-all before we fall. It's a free-for-all before we fall. Took some L's, but I guess you can't win them all. Getting busy, been so busy, but always keeping